This is the PCSRA Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. We now interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues Incorporated for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast, retransmission or other dissemination or the use of this broadcast, descriptions or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues Incorporated is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. We're glad that you're here to start a new journey of the PCSRA as the chase for the 2021 championships begin. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass on the PCSRA Radio Network as we get ready to bring you all the racing for the 2021 season. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Now, for the greatest show on earth from today's episode of the PCSRA Paddock Pass from Yukon, Oklahoma, here's the voice of the PCSRA, Daniel Voiles.
Before we get into our national anthem, first of all, I sincerely want to apologize for delaying the this episode to today because not that long ago, my controller decided to take a shit, this old controller right here, and because of that, I had to delay Triple P until this morning, which is Friday morning, so... just want to let you all know, hopefully it doesn't happen again, and we'll go from there. With that being said, please be outstanding for the national anthem of the country of Hungary. And then we'll get back and start our show.
Velveeta.
Oh, shut up about Velveeta, you stupid phone.
Velveeta biscuit.
Alright, thank you to the country of Hungary. Let me make sure you guys can still hear me, so that way we're in good shape. Back to my channel. Yeah. Yes, you can hear me. That's good. Okay, just a few announcements before we get started on Triple P. This past weekend, the motorsports community want to send our condolences to the marshal who was struck and killed in Brands Hatch last Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and take a moment of silence to remember the marshal, and we send our deepest condolences to his friends and family on this difficult tragedy. Thank you. So, I bet you all are... I'm going to say Triple P is live. So, couple of announcements. The Overwatch League podcast has been rescheduled to Sunday night. That was my house manager. If you're hearing where all that yelling is coming from, it's not from me, just so you all know. As I was saying, the Overwatch League podcast is going to get rescheduled to late Sunday night, early Monday morning, because of the fact I have to work that night and all that. Plus, Monday we have the IMSA podcast. Triple P will be Wednesday of next week, so we'll be back to our schedule. It's just, I apologize for having a gap and all that. And this is actually my first video, or my first stream I've done in a couple of weeks, because, well, had my controller not died, we would have been rocking and rolling, but it came to a screeching halt, so, yeah. Plus, I only ate, like, 3/3 of my first pizza. I didn't even eat my entire dinner last night, so, which really sucks. But, oh well. So I'm going to have to find somehow, some way to pay off the storage unit, which I'll probably just do and just suffer it until I get some money back into my account. So, anyway, with that being said and done, we have today's agendas. All of us have already made predictions as far as that is concerned. So our agenda today, of course, recap Hungary, rate the weekend injury report. There was a controversy at Winchester we'll need to discuss. Top story, this day in history, and our report. And then we look ahead to Zolder, Nashville, and Watkins Glen. Wait a minute, did I not make predictions for... No, I did make predictions, did I? Yeah, I did, okay. I'll read out the predictions, so... Yeah, another solo event and all that. Hi, one person in the chat. Anyway, let's talk about Hungary. Oh my goodness, that was interesting, shall we? Okay. Where is my... Wait, where's my Formula 3 results? Oh, here they are. Oh, I need to do this. Whoop! I forgot they're all the way up here, because that's where I moved them. Alright. That's fine. I don't mind. Okay. By the way, everybody in the chat just said figures. Okay. Hi, Great Lakes. Oh. Make my eggs scrambled. Hey, Toby. He didn't hear a word I said, but anyway. I was trying to tell him, make it scrambled. Because, why not? I know everybody said figures, but how are you all this morning? Sorry, and like I said, this is what happens when you haven't done a stream almost all week. Yes. I'm also drinking a Shasta, too. I'm not going out to eat because my bank account's like at negative 57. So anyway, back on topic, just a little sideline to discuss. Amu Ashawa won the Formula 3 2021 Race 1. The results from that, as Amu Ashawa won, Aldi Caldwell second, Logan Sargent third, Clement Novalak fourth, which, by the way, motorsports.com derped on the countries of those people. Dennis Hogger fifth, Alexander Similar sixth, Lorenzo Colombo seventh. Now, he originally won Race 1, but was given a 5-second time penalty because you're supposed to maintain a distance between yourself and the safety car. He didn't do that, and he ended up getting penalized as a result, which was a shame because he drove a brilliant race. David Schumacher 8th, Jack Duhan 9th, Mattia Nannini completed the top 10. In race 2, Mattino Nannini wins. Congratulations to him. Enzo Fittipaldi second. Roman Stachnik third. Alexander Cimbelar fourth. Dennis Hogger fifth. David Schumacher sixth. Lorenzo Colombo seventh. Clement Novalek eighth. Logan Sargent ninth. And Amu Ashawa completed the top 10. That was after they inverted the results from race 1. For race 3, Dennis Hogger won. Arthur Leclerc second. Jack Doohan third, David Schumacher fourth, Clement Novalek fifth, Alexander Cimbelar sixth, Frederick Vesti seventh, Aldi Caldwell eighth, Enzo Fittipaldi ninth, and Logan Sargent completes the top 10. The top 10 results for the W Series: Jamie Chadwick, the reigning champion, won. Alice Palser second, Narina Marti of Spain third, Irina Sodokov fourth, Becky Visser fifth, Emmy Kimmelane 6th, Marta Garcia 7th, Bedlin Garcia 8th, Bruna Tomaselli 9th, and Jessica Hawkins complete the top 10. Then we go to the F1 race for the Hungarian Grand Prix, which, by the way, I'll explain about the thumbnail in just a second. If I had one word to describe that race, holy cow, in the words of Toby. That was a wreck fest. And drama. Here's how it all went down. Everybody, it started to rain, which was interesting. It started to rain, so, because normally on Sunday, if it's dry, whatever tire you qualified in Q2, qualified to get into Q3, that's the tire you start the race. Nope, Mother Nature just bucketed it down with rain. It rained also in the Formula 3 race, why they only ran 20 laps. And then it started to dry, then the rain came. Everybody had to start on inters, and it turned into a holocaust real quickly, and here's why. At the start, Valtteri Bottas misjudged his braking point, and I'm sorry if I have to do this. Bottas came in like a wrecking ball, took out both of the Red Bulls, which was Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and then Lance Stroll came in like a wrecking ball and took out Charles Leclerc, also Lando Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo did continue on, but Norris, Bottas, Perez, Leclerc, and Stroll all dropped out of the race as a result. The race was red flag. And then the strangest thing of 2021 happened. As they were getting ready to go to the standing start for the second time, everybody behind Lewis Hamilton came to pit road because the track was starting to dry. Everyone switched from intermediate tires to dry tires, which they went to the medium tire. Now, normally in a dry race, you would have to use 2 sets of dry compound tires, because I've said it in the F1 career modes. That's not the case. When you already start on wet tires, you throw the 2 dry rule part out the window. So Ocon on back ends up pitting. Lewis Hamilton stays out, and he was the only car on the grid. I've seen crazy things in my life. I've seen crazy things like the U.S. Grand Prix where only 6 cars start. I've never seen Lewis Hamilton be the only one starting on the grid, and then lights out, away we go. Lewis Hamilton was like in la 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 la. Yeah, that part. And then everybody came out behind Hamilton. Everyone decided to go went on mediums. George Russell jumped all the way to second, only to give up the 5 spots he gained because he was not supposed to pass people in the pit lane, which he gave those spots back, which is good. Then Lewis Hamilton realized his mistake, ended up pitting, gave Esteban Ocon the lead of the race. And Ocon never gave it up, which, by the way, explains the thumbnail. Esteban Ocon gets his first career win in Formula 1. He becomes the 111th first-time winner. It's the second year in a row a French driver has won a Grand Prix. Last year, Pierre Gasly. This year, Esteban Ocon. And special story here, it's the first time a French driver, a French team, and a French engine all won in a Grand Prix since 38 years ago at the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg. Now, how cool... And Alain Prost was the driver, so there you go. How cool is that? And of course, Fernando Alonso ended up finishing well and scored a boatload of points for the team. After the race, however, Sebastian Vettel, who originally finished second, was disqualified for not having a lot of fuel in his car, which, by the way, the team is appealing, by the way, as of right now. So the top 10 results after everything has happened. Esteban Ocon, the winner. Lewis Hamilton, second. Carlos Sainz, third, with Vettel's penalty. Fernando Alonso, fourth. So, that, like I said, that's big points for Alpine in the constructors. The two AlphaTauris of Gasly and Tsunoda, fifth and sixth. Gasly got the fastest lap of the race. The two Williams drivers. First time Williams scored points... got into the points since this race in 2017, the Hungarian Grand Prix. They finished 7th and 8th with Nicholas Latifi, his best career finish in Formula 1, same with George Russell, in 8th. Max Verstappen, despite missing parts of his car, how on earth he salvaged a 9th place, I don't know. And because of Sebastian Vettel's penalty, Kimi Räikkönen completes the top 10. So there you go. Last time a driver, by the way, got disqualified was the Japanese Grand Prix in 2019. So there you go. I gave that race a fantastic 10. So, yeah. I'm going to give that race an awesome 9 out of 10. I was not expecting Alpine, which, by the way, is our thumbnail, with Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso sharing this moment. I didn't expect that to happen. Real quickly, before we get into some other stuff, I want to say congratulations to Bob Pockris. I'm at an airport for another weekend of travel, but to a wedding in my family that takes place Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon. So any tweets/updates will be from afar and probably be limited throughout the weekend. So we'll probably be getting updates as far as we'll probably be getting updates like from J-Ski and all that, so. Because Pockris is at a wedding, so, yeah. There you go. Nashville got their priorities on point. Alright, so, yeah. Penalties after that, other than Sebastian Vettel getting a disqualification, Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll were given 5 grid spot penalties for the next race in Belgium for their incident on the first lap. Leclerc might also have to take an engine penalty because of the damage, and possibly Checo Perez, which means they would end up starting at the back of the grid. For Belgium. So, there you go. So, let's get right into the top... Oh, wait. Let me make sure I'm following my agenda, Rick. Oh, wait. No injury report, by the way. I do want to mention, actually, there was something else I was going to say before we get into the top story news, which, by the way, actually leads into the top story news. There was an issue that happened at Winchester in the ARCA race where Daniel Dye was racing. Let me look at the truck entry list so I can tell you who I'm referring to if you guys don't know. Taylor Gray and Daniel Dye. There we go. Taylor Gray, by the way, is making his Truck Series debut. He was supposed to make his debut earlier in the year, but injuries forced him to withdraw that plan. So there you go. Anyway, Taylor Gray and Daniel Dye, getting back on topic here, were racing at Winchester. Daniel Dye slightly touched him, which is fine and all that. And then Taylor Gray came flying up there like a bull in a china shop and decided to intentionally dump Daniel Dye, in which he collected another car after he was wrecked, and the race had to be red flag. And then Taylor Gray's dad and Daniel Dye's dad decided to get into a shouting match on pit road, which ARCA officials had to break that up, but both parties were summoned to the ARCA hauler when the race was over. I understand you're a 16-year-old kid and you want to be the future star of NASCAR, but there's no excuse to turn somebody intentionally down the straightaway, because that was totally uncalled for. And that probably did not sit well with Taylor's brother Tanner, who, by the way, is running in the Truck Series, I like to point out. So,
Do you want salt and pepper on that, Daniel?
I always season mine, so go ahead. Salt and pepper, as always. Wait, is it scrambled, or?
It's not scrambled.
Okay, that's fine. As long as it's scrambled, I'm happy. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Sorry, we're getting off topic here. Because my roommate could have waited like 3 seconds. But anyway. So, as a result, Daniel Dye had a concussion, but he should be feeling all better to go racing this weekend, and by the time he gets to his next race, because there you go. Taylor Gray, however, is going to get a lot of boos so far this weekend, if you know what I mean. So let's get right into top story news now that we got that little situation taken care of. I'm going to have to clear this up.
I may just use cinnamon toast too.
Oh, well, I was getting ready to say I was going to make some toast, but thanks anyway. All right, thank you.
No problem. Now I'm gonna make mine.
Yeah, at least I love scrambled eggs, and I love eggs. Yes. Yeah. What, on your eggs?
Yeah.
Bruh. Okay, that's another weird topic. And the best part about that is I just got that on the street. Only on Triple P do we come up with the weirdest things ever. No wonder why I love you all. Anyway, let's get right into the top story news before we get off topic here. Here's something cool. Ever since Peter Brock passed away in 2006, supercars have a special trophy in honor of him in the great race called the Peter Brock Trophy. Well, they just posted it on the supercar website, which is very nice. I like the Peter Brock Trophy. And it should be still called the Peter Brock Trophy either way. So there you go. Also, Team Sydney's co-drivers were just announced as well. Of course, there you go. If you know what I mean. And there's the first Peter Brock Trophy with Lowndes and Whincup. Of course, Scott McLaughlin, a former winner of this Let me get to Supercar entry list. Oh, there we go. Teams and drivers. Wildcard entries. Kurt Koleski is confirmed. We don't know about the other one. Second driver TBA. AAA Engineering will have Russell Engel and Brock Fenney. Everest Motorsports will have Richie Stanway and Greg Murphy. So welcome back. Thomas Randall will also be in the big race. And TBA on who the other one will be. So there you go. Dick Johnson will probably might join Alex Davison racing as a backup endurance co-driver for Scott McLaughlin if he can't return to Bathurst, which he would have to isolate and all that shit. Phillip Island is coming back to Supercars to fill that void, if you know what I mean. So there you go. First time since 2019. Perth and Auckland were canceled. So there you go. So, yeah, like I said, Supercars is off for a very long time in that regard. Everybody's been testing the new 18-inch tire that will begin in Formula One starting next season. And I'm going to go ahead and eat, because why not? So. So, yeah. Next topic.
How is it, Daniel?
It's good, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind making breakfast for you.
It's fine. My mother always makes me breakfast.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Whether it's that or whether it's an egg sandwich, I don't mind. As long as it's food, I don't mind. Yesterday, if you all did not hear the news yesterday, I know some people didn't hear the news yesterday. Thanks. It was announced Valentino Rossi, 9-time champion of MotoGP, announced that this year in 2021 will be his final year as a MotoGP rider. He will be retiring at the end of this season, so we say congratulations to him. 42 years old. He's won 9 championships, 7 with MotoGP, because he's won a 125 championship and a 250 World Championship, and then becoming a 7-time MotoGP championship. In his career in MotoGP, 89 wins, almost 200 podiums, 55 poles, and all that. So excited, and want to say congratulations to Valentino, and hopefully his final season will end on a high. And he will be missed, but like I said, we knew it was coming. 42 years old, still riding. That's pretty impressive. Could have had some milk with it, but oh well. But yeah. So really excited about that. So. Alright, to some NASCAR news that we need to get you guys caught up on. Flor de Lis Motorsports is partnering with NBM Motorsports with Timmy Hill in the Xfinity Series. From Adam Stern, NASCAR is review with teams in the potential number switch in the final stages, and bearing a late change, it is likely decals will move specifically forward starting next season. Per sources, announcement could be made in the coming days. Eric Jones going to be in Jordan Anderson's number 31 for the Glen. Dave Smith is going to be in the 52 replacing Gray Galding. Will Rogers will have a second entry with Sam Hunt Racing in the Xfinity Series next week at Indy. Marcus Smith said on Wednesday that the earliest NASCAR could race at the Nashville Fairgrounds is 2023. Austin Dillon's going to run the Cowboy Channel colors on his number 3 this week. And then it was announced yesterday that GMS Racing driver Chase Purdy has tested positive for COVID-19 and has mild symptoms. He will have to quarantine as a result. AJ Allmendinger will replace him in the GMS 23 Racing. No word who's going to be in his ride today, because the ARCA race is today. Allmendinger, because of that driver change and the lineup already set, he will have to go to the rear of the field. And Chad Chastain is the brother of Ross Chastain, is going to be in the 45, because Ross was going to be in that ride, but then he forgot that NASCAR won't allow Cup drivers to race the final 8 races of the season in trucks. So, which also means Chase Purdy has kissed his playoff hopes goodbye, so. Excuse me.
As long as you sit down, you're fine.
No, I did it away from you, so.
That's fine. Somebody's finished.
Okay, why would somebody have weed like food item? Like, bruh, that's disgusting.
What's that?
Weed.
That's
gross.
messed up. You know, That's really messed up.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Things to do without F1. Let's see. Hug Orman, hug Great Lakes, hug Great Lakes, hug Orman, hug Orman. Yes. Because now F1's now officially into the summer break, so there you go. In our report, we had Courtney Lynn win yesterday's Dixie Vodka 400. But Emmy Lipson was still seen this morning, still in the big orange truck after the haulers left. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any consequences, if you know what I mean. So, but it is what it is. Don't think I have any other top story news, but that's kind of it. This day in history, since I do apologize for slacking on this day in history. All right, this day in history. Today is August 6th. Okay. Now! You derping hyena. Yes. Today is August 6th. Let's get you into our favorite deal. For sports and everything, like all that. On this day in 1890, future Hall of Fame pitcher Cy Young threw a 3-hit ball in his MLB debut for the Cleveland Spiders in the 8-1 win against the Chicago Colts. On this day in 1908, St. Louis Cardinals' Johnny Lush pitched his second career no-hitter versus Brooklyn in a 2-0 first no-hitter in 2 years. On this day in 1936, Jack Lovelock of New Zealand runs a world record 3-minute 47.8 to win the gold medal in the 1500 meter at the Berlin Olympics. That same year, Japanese athlete quintet the triple jump at the Berlin Olympics. Nato Chajima won the gold, and Maso Adia the silver. American athlete Forrest Towns runs world record 14.1 110 hurdles semifinal at the Berlin Olympics. Later can't match the time, but wins the gold medal in the final. On this day in 1937, MLB overturns New York Yankees 7-6 win over Cleveland Indians because of umpire error, which caused controversy. Here's something good for Great Lakes. On this day in 1941, Detroit Tigers pitcher Al Benton collects 2 sacrifices in an inning, an MLB record, in an 11-2 win for the Tigers over the Cleveland Indians. On this day in 1945, Australian Test cricket all-around Kevin Miller scores 110 not out of Australian services on day 1 of drawing 4th victory test against England at Lord's. A lot of Olympics. On this day in 1961, British auto racer Stirling Moss scored his 16th and final Formula One victory in the German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. So that's good. On this day in 1963, Philadelphia's NBA franchise changes name from Nationals to the 76ers, based on the U.S. Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia in 1776, which, by the way, they're still called the 76ers today. How about that? On this day in 1965, the NFL Pro Bowl, or they like to call it the Chicago College All-Star, Cleveland won it 24-16 in front of 68,000 fans. I didn't know that existed. On this day in 1967, Minnesota Twins pitcher Dean Chance throws a perfect no-hitter versus the Boston Red Sox, 2-0 in 5 innings before game was called due to weather. On this day in 1972, Gary Player of South America won by 2 shots over Americans Tommy Aaron and Jim Jamison to win the men's championship out in Oakland Hills Country Club in California. John McCaffrey recovers from 7 down with 14 to play to force playoff, beat Tom Watson, Jerry Potzel on the second hole to win at Oakmount Country Club. On this day in 1983, the first NFL exhibition game in Europe, Minnesota Vikings beat the St. Louis Cardinals 28-10 at London's Wembley Stadium. Hopefully we go there. On this day in 1985, MLB Players Association staged a mid-season baseball strike, which lasted a day. So, yeah. Oakland A's outfielder Jose Canseco became the 11th player to record 30 home runs and 30 steals in the season in 1988 on this day. On this day in 1995, Cleveland Major League sports franchise, the NFL Browns, the MLB Indians, which will be called the Guardians next season, played in Cleveland for the first time ever. Both lost. White Sox beat the Indians 5-1, which, by the way, will be called the Guardians. And the Giants won 19-13 over the Cleveland Browns. On this day in 1999, Tony Gwynn goes 4 for 5 and collected his 3,000th MLB hit as the Padres downed the Expos 12-10, which, by the way, the Expos are now the Washington Nationals. On this day in 2001, two-time champion Marion Jones is disqualified and has her string of 42 consecutive 100-meter final victories snapped by Hanna Penestrov of Ukraine at the World Athletic Championships in Edmonton, Canada. On this day in 2006, I don't know if Elijah remembers this, Tiger Woods became the youngest player to compile 50 PGA Tour victories with a 3-stroke victory over Jim Furyk in the Buick Open at Grand Blanc in Michigan. That same year, Sherry won second of 2 majors by 3 shots at the British Open Women's Golf, Royal Lithium, and St. Anne's. Also on that year, in 2006, there's a lot that happened on this year. 43-year-old American Sherry Steinhauer wins her second major, 3 strokes ahead of Sophie Gustafson and Christy Kerr. Also, for an MLB record 11th time in his career, Padres closer Trevor Hoffman recorded 30 or more saves in a season beats mark set by Lee Smith, baseball's all-time saves leader. That's it. Happy birthdays! Woohoo! Happy birthday to Mike Budenholzer, the coach of the Bucks, the defending NBA champions. Danny Collins, happy birthday to him, and all that. So, Jimmy Nielsen. So yeah, happy birthdays to all, and that, my friends, is this day in history. Let me take a bite of my eggs real quickly, and then we'll get rocking and rolling on the next part of our show. Ah, crap. There we go. Let's see. We already did NR report. We did this day in history. Let's look ahead to Nashville, Zolder, and Watkins Glen. Of course, NASCAR is back for the first time in 2 weeks after being off for the Olympic break. DTM back for their second race weekend. Glad to have them back. We also are glad to have back. Okay, changes were made. I think it's because of that time deal. Zolder's going to be fun. Nashville Indycar is back for the first time in a month since they raced at Mid-Ohio. Which, by the way, Lee Diffie will miss this weekend's race because he's still covering the Olympics. Kevin Lee will be the replacement. And I don't know who's going to call the IMSA race at Road America, but I'm going to guess it might be Brian Till. If you know what I mean, so. Lee Diffie will be back for the Lee Diffie will be back for Indianapolis next weekend, so there you go. So, definitely something we're looking forward to. So, not sure who will do Road America, but we'll find out. And for a further discussion on Road America, don't forget to check out the IMSA podcast on Monday or whenever I get it. But either way, hope you'll join us with that. So, Watkins Glen is going to be interesting because it is the regular season finale for the Truck Series. But it's really critical for Xfinity Cup because they're still in their regular season. Trucks, we're going to find out who will be the 10 drivers to make it into the playoffs, providing they can get a win and they're eligible. So, yeah. So most of us have already made our predictions, which we're going to get into predictions. You know the dilemma. Driver to win, driver to stay away from, driver that's the dark horse. 1 point each for Global. Xfinity Cup is 1 point. Trucks is 1 point on the predictions. 3 points for the playoff drivers. So there you go. That's how it's done. Alright, so people have already made predictions, and I've already we posted them in the chat. So let's start with Global. If I pull... Okay, there we go. I'm going to start with Cody Smart because he's the first one that made global picks. For DTM, for driver to win, he took Liam Lawson. Driver stay away from Timo Glock, dark horse Kelvin Vanderlyn. For Indycar, he took Alex Palou, driver to win. Driver stay away from Max Chilton, dark horse Joseph Newgarden. For Nathan Orman, he took for DTM Timo Glock, driver to win. Driver stay away from Liam Lawson, dark horse Mike Rockenfeller. For IndyCar, he took Scott Dixon, driver to win. Driver stay away from Joseph Newgarden and Alexander Rossi as the dark horse. For Zachary Taylor, for DTM, he took Maximilian Goetz as driver to win. Driver stay away from Philip Ellis, dark horse Marco Whitman. And then IndyCar, he took Scott Dixon, driver to win. Driver stay away from Scott McLaughlin and Patricia O'Ward as the dark horse. Which, by the way, Patricia O'Ward is my driver to win for IndyCar. Driver stay away from Marcus Ericsson and Alex Palou, the dark horse. And then for my DTM picks, I had Kelvin Vanderlyn, driver to win. Driver stay away from Marco Whitman and dark horse Liam Lawson. For the NASCAR picks, I'm going to start with Nathan Orman. For trucks, Matt Crafton as driver to win for Nathan Orman. Driver stay away from Zane Smith, dark horse Stuart Friesen, and his playoff drivers Chandler Smith, Carson Hocevar, and Stuart Friesen. For Xfinity, he took Jeff Burton, driver to win. Driver stay away from Austin Cindric, Brett Moffitt as the dark horse. For Cup, he took Kevin Harvick, driver to win. Driver stay away from Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott as the dark horse. For Cody Smart, driver to win, Todd Gillen for trucks. Driver stay away from Tate Fogelman, dark horse Sheldon Creed. Playoffs, he picked Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Carson Hocevar. For Xfinity, A.J. Allmendinger, driver to win. Driver stay away from Ryan Sieg, Eric Jones as the dark horse. For Cup, he took Chase Elliott, driver to win. Driver stay away from Eric Jones, Kyle Busch as the dark horse. For Alley, who made predictions for Triple B, which I will accept the entry regardless. For trucks, took Carson Hocevar, driver to win. Corey Heim, driver stay away from Derek Kraus, dark horse. Hocevar, Kraus, and Smith. Wow, took Kraus instead of Friesen. That's surprising. For Xfinity, she took A.J. Allmendinger, driver to win. Jay Buford, driver stay away from Brett Moffitt, the dark horse. Then Cup took Chase Elliott, driver to win. Driver stay away from Corey LaJoie. Michael McDowell's the dark horse. For Zachary Taylor, he took John Hunter Nemechek, driver to win. Driver stay away from Johnny Sauter. Christian Eckes as the dark horse. His playoff drivers to make it in is Carson Hocevar, Derek Kraus, and Chandler Smith. Xfinity, he took Justin Haley as driver to win. Myatt Snyder as the driver to stay away from, and Justin Allgaier as the dark horse. For Cup, he took Chase Elliott as the driver to win, Bubba Wallace as the driver to stay away from, and Matt DiBenedetto as the dark horse. For Kyle Langland, he took Stuart Friesen as driver to win, Austin Hill as the driver to stay away from, and Sheldon Creed as the dark horse. His playoff drivers are Friesen, Hocevar, and Chandler Smith. For Xfinity, he took Justin Allgaier as the driver to win, Noah Gragson as the driver to stay away from, and Ryan Sieg as the dark horse. For Cup, he took Martin Truex Jr. as the driver to win, Joey Logano as the driver to stay away from, and Kevin Harvick as the dark horse. Then for Great Lakes, he made a bold prediction. Kaz Gralla as the driver to win. That's a shocker. Driver stay away from Derek Kraus, Ben Rhodes, dark horse, playoff drivers Friesen, Hocevar, and Chandler Smith. Xfinity, he took, okay, I find it funny that he took an all Toyota lineup. Ty Gibbs, driver to win, Riley Herbst, driver stay away from, and Harrison Burton's dark horse. Well, actually, Riley Herbst is not GGR, but you get the point. He took drivers that were part of the Kyle Busch family, which I find that funny. Then Cup, Kevin Harvick, driver to win, Kurt Busch, driver to stay away from, Michael McDowell as the dark horse. For yours truly, I took Sheldon Creed as the driver to win, Matt Crafton as the driver to stay away from, Austin Hill as the dark horse. My playoff drivers are Chandler Smith, Carson Hocevar, and Stuart Friesen. Xfinity, I took Austin Cindric as the driver to win. Myatt Snyder as the driver to stay away from. AJ Allmendinger as the dark horse. For Cup, I took Kyle Larson as the driver to win. Austin Dillon, as the driver to stay away from. MTJ, Martin Truex Jr. as my dark horse. So that is your predictions, my friends, for so far. Which, by the way, we finally got my deal taken care of. And later, I'll probably start streaming a little bit. Which brings me to this week's upcoming events. Later today will be the NASCAR Pit Stop show at 5:30 Eastern Time, as they'll also talk about why ARCA sucks and all that, and they'll preview Watkins Glen, which is interesting. So yeah, hopefully that will be interesting. Shocker indeed, yes it is. So yeah. But we're definitely looking forward to that. That's a look at this week's upcoming events. Brought to you by Kim K Coach Lines, the official motor coach carrier of the PCSRA. For more information and details, visit kimkcoach.com. As far as looking at this week's upcoming PCSRA awesome events, of course, I already talked about at the top of the show. We'll be back next Wednesday to recap Watkins Glen, preview Indianapolis, and other global stuff. So there you go. Before we close the broadcast, some other note to mention. It's the first time Alpine has won a race since the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix back in 2011 or 2012. Don't remember. But we can't be much more prouder to Alpine on their success. It's going to be pleasant. Right now, my friends have already gone off to work. I wish them a great day at work. And hopefully and all that. So, and of course I'm not going out to eat because I don't have any money in my account. Oh, whoops. So, yeah. But we're definitely looking forward to that. So, yes, sirree. That's a look at this week's upcoming PCSRA awesome events brought to you by Subway Eat Fresh. Proud sponsor of Chloe Bumgarner and the number 84 Audi RS8. And also want to say that we were already at, I think we were already at the 1 year anniversary of the tragedy that happened in El Paso. Of course, we are still remembering the victims who lost their lives in El Paso. And looks like the Turkish Grand Prix is in doubt again. Remains on the United Kingdom's red list, as does Mexico and all the UK-based F1 teams that were quarantined upon their return. So it looks like Turkey could be in trouble as far as that's concerned. So, yeah. But we'll see what happens. So, yeah. By the way, first time the Olympics are being performed without fans. So there you go. So, yeah. But that's how it is. The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of the PCSRA all season long for Triple P and all of our shows, and wants to remind all of our friends that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together we can end DUI. Visit endyok.com for more details, as my house manager is back from taking the guys to work. Oh. So yeah. Normally I already say thank you to the panelists and all that, but I'll start a VC when we get into the call. So yeah. Special thanks to my panelists who are amazing. Also want to say special thanks to Sean Art, our special guest, for chatting with us yesterday. Also want to thank my awesome people, Nathan Norman, Zachary Taylor, Cody Smart, Kyle Langland, Cody Goforth, Great Lakes, all of our amazing friends. Our statistician, Caleb Hobbs, producer and engineer, Zachary Fitzwater, Jackie Tang, Alex Hawkins, Dennis Stats Kelly, Tom Shores, Greg Rutz. Also thank Prue Granger, Lucky Prescott, and Abigail Stone. Daniel Anderson running the show for us back in our PCSRA and Learfield IMG College studios in Oklahoma City. Also, I'm going to be watching Spirit Riding Free on my PS4 sometime today, which is an 8-season series that I'm going to be working on as far as watching is concerned. So yeah, that'll be fun, and it should be exciting. Final score one final time. First time I get to say final score one final time. Final score one final time from the Hall of Fame game last night. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers 16 and the Dallas Cowboys 3 in preseason, as preseason NFL has begun. Until next week, when we recap all of our amazing stuff and everything going on around the world of motorsports, and preview Indianapolis and much more. Until then, this is Dean DeVos, aka PCSRA Blue Hedgehog 26, saying, Boomer Sooner, everybody, and we'll see you all next week. Till then, I'll see you on Twitch later today. For now, it's goodbye, and see you next time.
On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, PCSRA Paddock Pass has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Thanks for joining us for the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the PCSRA Sports Network. Copyright 2021 by the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues and the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association, Incorporated.